Snow White and the 7 Reshoots has wrapped again, but that's no win for the House of Mouse. Rachel Zegler pouncing onto social media to let people know that she's been involved in the 3rd set of major reshoots. Why is this bad? Well, folks, we're here to tell you it may make Bob Iger sad to realize they've spent triple what they should have on this film. We've got the details and why this could be a loss so big it cuts out the profits of Inside Out 2 right now for you. Hello folks, welcome back to the Pro Channel, the place where we endeavor to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. It's a passion we have despite the fact that Hollyweird can't figure out why we continue to tear into them, kicking and screaming, dragging them back to the mainstream middle, the sensible center where money is made. Today, folks, we're talking about Rachel Zegler. We're talking about Snow White and the 7 Dirty Hippies. I mean, the 7 CGI monstrosities. I mean, the 7 reshoots. No, folks, it's the 3rd set of reshoots. But listen, this movie has been in production now for 2 years. You know how long a movie is really supposed to be in production? 3 months, 4 months, 6 months is a long movie. 2 years. Folks, we're going to tell you why this is so bad, along with another movie, that it could wipe out all of the profits Disney made in 2024 that we anticipate them to grab up. This is a disaster. Take a look, folks, at what we have out of MovieWeb. Disney's live-action Snow White remake gets a big update. This coming out just about 12 hours ago, and we keep our nose, folks, to what's going on in the news. So we're here with it within 24 hours for you. Says Disney's Snow White and the 7 Dwarves has finally completed filming. Again, the Disney live-action remake of Walt Disney Animation's first feature film has had a long road to the big screen, directed by Mark Webb and starring Rachel Zegler in the lead role of Snow White with Gal Gadot as the evil queen. The film was originally set to open in theaters in March of 2024, but was delayed to 2025 following those strikes, and Disney said, "Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you." Part of the delay was so the film could do reshoots. And that's finally, just now, in 2024, 4 months after it was supposed to come out, concluded. Filming of Snow White and the 7 Dwarves initially took place back from March 7th to July 13th of 2022. In other words, folks, this movie has been in production, not post-production, not in the edit bay. It has literally been in production for 2 whole years. More than 2 years. They have been filming this movie. Star Rachel Zegler, who apparently will age within the film based on how long it's been filming, posted on her Instagram story that reshoots had wrapped filming. She wrote, "That's a wrap on Snow White, and I'm so freaking proud and emotional. Love these people so much. The Instagram story has since expired, but a fan account of Rachel Zegler Daily posted a screenshot on X." So here's what Zegler had to say. There you can see it. She posts a picture of the rocks on the ground because maybe that's all they would allow her to post. And there you go. Snow White is finally wrapped filming. I don't know that they're done yet. I don't know that they're done with the reshoots. Well, maybe it's just a wrap on Rachel Zegler's participation. I have no idea. But it's 2 years, Jonas.
They've wrapped 3 times, haven't they?
Yes, this is the 3rd time.
I know that they build in reshoots. Disney knows at this point that they have to build in reshoots. Why they don't know that they need to write a good script to start, that one maybe they need to start working on. But at this point, I think this is 3 times that they've made this movie.
They might as well call it DEI White.
Yeah, well, Snow Brown was never a good idea. And the ideas around this, that take away from the original origin of the story is also a problem. Look, this is always supposed to be a moral tale. Almost every fairy tale is. It was supposed to scare children into understanding, why things are done a given way. These all are parables. That's where they are. They're a source. They're sourced from places where, they needed to let, people know these are good things, these are bad things, and all of that. And because Disney's lost their moral compass and they've incorporated the things we were talking about just a moment ago into every area of operation, this is what you end up with. And because the people that you are employing maybe don't have the merit required to do this, including the writers, I think you're suffering from all of that poor decision making. Again, in the case of Disney at this point, the everything stinks from the head down. I mean, until you get down to maybe cast member level in the theme park, maybe there needs to be full replacement. Everybody needs to be fired and then rehired based on their merit and ability, because there's no other way to go about this. And you have to do this everywhere, the studios especially. If this is what you're going to get, these are the people you're going to hire. This is the nonsense that you're going to let them spout. And believe me, Disney's letting her say dumb things. This is where you're going to end up, and you're going to shoot films more than twice. Your entire films. This film was shot, as Jonas pointed out, 3 times essentially. Not to mention building in 12 days for reshoots, normal practice, right? But wrapping principal photography 3 times,
weird.
Boom, you nailed it.
Take a look at this real quick, panel. This is amazing to me. We've got Inside Out 2 here, and we've bragged about it. Folks get mad at us because we don't keep talking about it. It's like, how many times can you do the same story about it breaking $1 billion? I mean, we've talked about it. That's it until it does something new, and then we can talk about it anew. The Acolyte just keeps screwing up over and over in different ways, so that's a new story every day. We can't help that, folks. We cannot fix that the Acolyte or Tiana's, breaks down again in another way, brand new way, fire trucks, evacs, all that. And Inside Out 2 has got to do something new. And, I mean, success is great, but take a look at this. It's made over $1 billion. But here's what I want us to pay attention to. The reason I'm bringing this up is, let's assume for a moment that Inside Out 2 finishes somewhere around $1.3 billion. I think that's probably where it winds up. Okay, it's gonna end in sort of a Super Mario Brothers kind of territory, not quite Barbie. Let's assume then that makes Disney something like $800 million in profit. Okay, then let's assume that they have 2 more hits this year, Moana 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay, and let's say that gets them to a total of $2 billion in profit. That would be fantastic for Disney. That would be absolutely phenomenal. It's not pre-pandemic levels of box office success for Disney, but it buys them time. Now, here's the reason I'm asking what I'm going to ask. In 2025, we have Snow White pretty soon out of the gate. We also have Captain America: Brave New World pretty soon out of the gate. We've got movies like Elio. We have movies like Thunderbolts. But take a look at this. Captain America: Brave New World has a budget of $350 to $375 million. That is a production budget. That is not marketing. That is not advertising. And that means that at this point, it is reasonable to say that this is a $500 million budgeted film. That is reasonable, and it could go higher.
Well, it just needs to perform as well as Avengers Endgame, which was the culmination of 10 years or more of filmmaking and all of that. And then this will be a good level of spend for a movie like this, a movie that no one has any idea if it's going to be good or not.
So here's why I cannot be totally positive about Disney right now. And I would like to have 2 weeks of positivity for the House of Mouse. That would be fun. It'd be different. The reason I can't is because I'm looking at the numbers right now, and I'm beginning to wonder, could Disney actually wipe out the success of Moana 2, we presume, of Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out 2 with these kind of budget-busting disasters? Snow White and the 7 dirty hippies, 7 dirty CGI monstrosities, 7 reshoots, Captain America, Elio, and all the rest of the stuff they're putting out there. Could that wipe out the success of 3 films? I don't know. Panel, what do you think?
I think that's a fait accompli. I think that's already the wheels are already in motion here. Disney was already sitting at less than 5% of the global box office before we got to this film in total earnings by studio. And the fact that it was just creeping, into this film, I have a feeling that anything on the positive side will not only be eaten up, but we'll be looking at another deficit by the time we roll around into the first quarter of 2025. I don't know what other conclusion you could draw. So
it's so weird to me that whatever goes on at Disney right now, obviously Bob Iger has said that he watches these movies over and over again and provides notes, and if the CEO of the company is providing you notes, you have to have a really good reason to say no to those notes if you're going to say no to them, which I think means that Bob Iger ultimately is the chief creative officer of this company. The idea that if they can't make a good movie the first time and they can't make a movie the second time, well, by the time they get around to the third one, that's the one where they make their hit. This is just, it's ridiculous, this entire process here, because it's not like these things are coming out. Like The Marvels was barely a complete film. There are plot holes on screen that normal people noticed in that movie. Like she has powers even when she doesn't have the thing that gives her powers. At this point, I'm going to bring it up again. Campbell's inverse movie budget rule: above $100 million, the more money they spend on the film, the less likely it is to be good.
Well, look at you brought up the Acolyte earlier. You could make 2 Godzilla -1s for every single half-hour episode of the Acolyte. That's a half-hour episode. So you can make 2-hour Godzilla films that made over $1 billion for a half-hour show. That doesn't make sense. Look at what Katie Sackhoff said last year when they were doing Mandalorian, and she said the catering budget for Mandalorian was more than the entire budget they had for Battlestar Galactica. That's insane. Where is the money? Where is the money going? Is it going to incompetent people that can't do their job?
And Battlestar Galactica holds up too.
I mean,
that thing looked good the entire way through. There was CGI in that show. There were special effects in that show. They were on spaceships. Most of that does not take place on any place that they wouldn't have to construct specifically for the show. And yet Star Wars is over here saying, well, the fight choreography is not very good. Let's shoot that behind a tree so nobody notices.
So let's run that same analysis, Stone Cold. I mean, this is, you've brought up a great point with Godzilla -1. Assuming that Disney's going to pay $150 million minimum on marketing for Captain America: Brave New World, which for a Marvel movie, there's no way. But we're just going to assume it because it's easy math. Okay, $500 million. That's where that puts them for the total budget for that film. That is more than 33 times the budget of Godzilla -1. That's 33 Godzillas. That's insane. That's why entertainment is broken. That's why this DEI push is not working. You need to hire the people who have the most merit. In the 90s, who was your best actor that you needed to put in an action film? Will Smith. Put him in anything. You're going to make money. It's not about skin color. It's about who the audience wants to see. Do it every time. They don't want whoever the new Captain America is. It's not about skin color. It's about the iconography of who Captain America is. That's who they want. Now, can you make a Captain America movie forever using Sam Rogers? No. But if you're going to do a Captain America movie and you want to make a big amount of money back, you got to have him, or you can't spend $500 million on the budget. Am I wrong, Loki?
No, you're not wrong. No, you're not wrong. I'm just wondering, is Disney, if I had 10 years in the industry and I was one of those top grabs, oh, well, we really need this guy because he does this and he's really going to help out with the movie. And then you've got someone that's spent, or that's brand new, just out of film school, whatever, but it's a woman. And you say, well, we really want to get this person because there's been word that they're just out of film school and they're doing real good. Do you pay us the same? Do you pay us the same amount of money? I'm wondering if Disney isn't doing something which would be absolutely crazy. If I had so many years of experience and someone didn't, but because of the gender war, because of this whole gender identity thing, are they going to make the same amount of money as I am? Is that where their budget's going? I don't know where their budget's going. This is insane. Paying $300 million for a Captain America movie, that is insanity. You need some good fight choreography, maybe some special effects thrown in there for a shield carrier or whatever, but you don't need over $250 million for a Captain America movie. You need good action. You need people that know what they're doing, and you need a good story. That's what you need. Ooh. Did they spend that much money on the first Avenger? Heck no, they didn't. Paramount couldn't even dream of spending that much money on the first Avenger Captain America movie. They wish they had a budget that big.
Can I throw something at you guys?
No,
ahead,
I love what Loki's saying, so I have to say this. Hey, between the two of them, which one's better? Captain America Civil War, probably one of the most expensive films in the MCU, or Winter Soldier?
Oh.
It's I know what the answer is for me. One of those has a reasonable budget, I'm assuming, and the other one has everybody and their mother in it.
Well, let me throw this
Winter
question.
Soldier's good. Winter Soldier's really good. I like Civil War, but Winter Soldier's, that's one of the best movies they made.
Yeah.
We're going to have to ask the audience in just a moment to find out, but I want to ask this question. To bring it back to Zegler, if Captain America Brave New World is costing them $500 million, if Snow White is now wrapping up the third set of reshoots, the 2-year production of Snow White and the Seven Dirty Hippies, how could it be that that movie's not also at $500 million? It looks to me like we've got two very shaky $500 million movies coming out of the gate of 2025 from Disney. That's just the way I see it. Don't know if you all see it that way. Erika, any thoughts on, do you think the female audience is going to show up for Snow White? Is this going to be the next Inside Out 2, the next Barbie? Are we missing something here? Are we a bunch of male doofusies who just don't prophesize as to what's really going to happen with this?
I think it's going to depend on what leaks, because that's what started the whole thing, was when Zegler opened her mouth. And
we're not supposed to talk about Ziegler's leaks. That was supposed to be verboten on the show, Erika. It's a no-go. No, sorry, go ahead.
It kind of just let the cat out of the bag of what the content was going to be and how they changed the story. And then there was this massive reaction to a classic. And if we kind of get that again, I don't know. It's my younger sister has sworn off Snow White because of Zegler. She can't stand her now. So she's like, I'm just not watching anything that she's in. And then on the flip side, more for me, is it's put such a bad taste in my mouth. They ruined it the first time. How do I trust that your reshoots are any better? Are you just pulling back on the messaging in your agenda and it's just going to be more subtle, but it's still there? Or are you actually going to stick to Walt Elias Disney's story? And I'm really on the fence about it, but I will say they're going to have a hard time profiting because it's just gotten so out of control with the expenses. And do they really expect families to just show up? We're struggling already. Just to go to the movies and buy popcorn and a Coke. There's still that factor, and I'm not seeing it. I don't see how they're going to make
the contrarian point of view, Erika, is that what if in these third reshoots, what if they got a gander at Inside Out 2 and they said, gee willikers, oh golly, we can take every bit of this DEI stuff as best we can out of this film, and it's got a shot. Let's reshoot it for the third time, and let's strip it away of all the wokeness and see what's left. And I'm just throwing that out there as a contrarian point of view. So, folks, if it does well next year, you heard it here, that the one way they can thread that needle, apologies on using the word thread in the aftermath of the Acolyte, but the one way they can thread that needle is if this third set of reshoots is literally to take it back to the traditional Snow White story, such as what you say, Erika. In that case,
I think they need
we
to
will
tell
reassess.
us, if they're really going back to canon like that, and, then at least have the decency to let us know, because the first time around, you basically told us you changed the story to the point where it angered everybody. And now the least you could do, if you're going back to the original, then say something and re-spark the interest of, oh, okay, I don't know, or maybe not. Maybe it is too late. Maybe people are just like, we don't even care anymore.
I think there's a chance with Inside Out 2 results. Culture?
No, but actually, Erika, I think that's a good point. I think a lot of people are done with Disney. I think that this is an accident with Inside Out 2. It's possible, but are you going to get Barbie levels of interest into Snow White, where, as you pointed out, it's already looked like garbage and everybody had already turned against it. I mean, or 2 times through, go 2 times reshooting it, going to make a difference. I mean, I'm looking at this film and I think it's going to be so cost prohibitive that it'll never be profitable. It might be good earnings. Same thing with Falcon, Cap 4 and the Magic, reshoots of Destiny or whatever, because I think that's up to 500 or 600 million now. So you start to look at these numbers and you're like,
weird.
Well, but you should have known better. And again, it speaks. What's so strange is this is all interlinked back to the story we covered from the Wall Street Journal. Every single thing, every decision, every bad idea, everything, traces back to this support of neo-Marxist ideologies, right? That were even born way back in the, in the 40s or even late 30s. But it's so funny how those bad ideas of the past, the ideas of, these socialist, Marxist, communist ideas still keep coming back up through our educational institutions with people that are pushing all these failed ideas. And here we are now with the biggest entertainment company of them all driving failure with their projects because of these same bad ideas. And
the Disney stock just keeps going down and down and down. And the Bob Igers are like, no, what's going on with that stock?
And folks, we've come to the end yet again. We hate to say goodbye, but don't worry, don't fret, not yet, for more content is on your way thrice daily right here on the Pro Channel. Come rain or shine, holiday or nay, folks, we are here to bring new content your way. So we'll see you very soon. And in the meantime, if you just can't get enough of us, check out places like At That Park Place, At That Game Place, and even Vacation Radio. You know what? Go check out At That Pod Place too. Man, that's a lot of channels. But you know what? There's plenty of news, and you want to hear it truthfully. We're bringing it to you on all those places. All right, folks, wherever your spaces might be in this great, big, beautiful world, we hope you're doing this for us. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.